Hey, what's going on, fam? My name is Jamel Tony.
Hey everyone, I'm Lakeisha, and welcome to Progressively Becoming.
Hey, what is happening? Good evening, good morning, wherever you may be watching. Good evening to all of you. Those on Facebook, those on YouTube, those of you on our podcast outlets, Google, Spotify, Apple Music, iHeartRadio, wherever you may be listening, whatever time you may be on. Good evening to all of you. Welcome to Progressively Becoming.
Yes, thank you guys for joining us for another conversation. As always, as you're getting on, make sure you like, comment, and share, and let someone know that PB is on now. We are in the building, and every Tuesday, right here, 7 p.m. sharp.
We are extremely excited to just really come with another conversation. We pray that these conversations have been impactful to you and prayerfully has provided some type of context and content to all of you. Progressively Becoming, those of you that may have never heard of us, maybe just first tuning in. Progressively Becoming is designed to help all of us, you and I, become the persons that God had intended us to become. We approach this with a Christ-centered mindset that when he created us, he had a picture in mind. And when we was created and when we came out of our mother's womb, everything just happened. It blew up. And the intention of Progressively Becoming is to get back to the person that God had intended us to be in our bodies, physically, emotionally, spiritually, financially, in our character. There is something that you were supposed to become.
Exactly. So again, that's Progressively Becoming in a nutshell, taking off the mask, becoming your true, authentic self. So
Absolutely.
we thank y'all for riding with us each and every week. For those of you who are new to the broadcast, thank you for watching us. We appreciate all of your support, and we just thank you. Let's not forget, Thursday morning, 6 a.m. morning devotions is back. On Progressively Becoming. Thank you all for joining us for last week's prayer, 6 a.m. every day last week with Deliverance Fellowship of Churches Worldwide. So thank you again for joining us during that time. But Thursday we will be back here 6 a.m. We will be praying with you and for you. So make sure you tag a friend, tag a loved one, bring somebody along, because we are going to be praying. Y'all see how rude he is? Every time I start talking, he starts doing this thing on here with the phone, and then I hear myself talking, and it's very distracting. But nonetheless, rude to the third power to my left here. Coat and clothing drive. We are now and continually taking gently used, even new clothes for adults, men, women.
Absolutely. Yes.
Children. We're taking it now through December 1st.
Absolutely.
For our outreach event that we will be having in Camden, New Jersey. So we thank you all who reached out already to let us know that you want to donate, that you want to volunteer. But those of you that haven't, you can text 855-997-3031. Let us know if you want to donate or if you want to volunteer. We appreciate all of your support and your help.
I am hot.
I told you he's gonna be hot with that jacket on.
Oh my God.
Let me tell y'all real quick. He come down with his little jean jacket on, and I told him, I said, you're gonna be hot in that because it's a little toasty in the house right now. So I told him, and he was like, I'm not gonna be hot. I'm gonna wear my jacket. Well, wear your jacket and be hot with your jean jacket on. But anyway, he didn't listen.
We got like 5 million lights shining at us. I'm sweating down my neck.
And he want to make it all this time with the thick. He got a thick jean jacket, y'all.
Hot.
Y'all know Levi's is thick. So, but he didn't want to listen to me.
I need water.
He didn't want to listen to me. You want to get you
Oh
water?
no, I'm having a heat moment right now. But yeah, morning devotions. I don't even know what you were saying.
It's all right. We were done with morning devotions. We are now talking about the place of exchange.
Yes, Sunday exchange.
Yes.
9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Every Sunday, we are committed to the ministry that God has called us to launch, and so excited. You have no idea the joy that we get just being able to worship and praise God corporately in any virtue space. We believe that the same presence that is with us where we are now is the same power that can be manifested wherever you are. If you are downtrodden, confused, don't know where to go in life, if you need encouragement, inspiration, the place of exchange is for you. The Sunday exchange, where we believe because of the life, death, and resurrection of Jesus Christ, there will always be an exchange in your life. Meet us Sunday, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Yes. I'm sorry I'm not laughing about the place of exchange, not at all. But Sharon just threw some shade at you, babe.
What she said?
She said, "I'm cute. Thank you, Sharon, but you sweating like Russian racehorse." But nonetheless, yeah.
So hot.
You look a little hot. This coming Friday, October 28th, another 15 at 6 is dropping, y'all. So don't forget, this Friday, we do our monthly encouragement, motivation, and inspiration, only available on our podcast. So you only can listen to it on our podcast, Apple, Google, Spotify, iHeartRadio. This week's topic will be on sensitivity, so please make sure you check it out. It's going to be awesome. A few weeks ago, real quickly, on the Place of Exchange Worship Sunday, we had Vision Sunday, and we had t-shirts that Sunday that said "Got Vision," and we had a few inquiries on purchasing those. So I just want to let you guys know we're just trying to get our online store up and running, and once we are done with that, then we will let you all know how you can go on and you can purchase those t-shirts. So don't think we forgot about you guys, but we're working on it. Just give us a little time.
We are working on it. Absolutely. Listen, fam, for over a month, we have been discussing the voices of pride. We have discussed the voice of insecurity, the voice of neglect and arrogance and desperation. And last week, we tackled the superficial voice, and we got stuck there. So we have to continue it. Today will be the conclusion of the voices of pride, because next week, beginning in November, it is Relationship Month.
Yes.
We will have some friends with us as we dig into the purpose that God has for our relationships. Not just intimate relationships.
Right.
Not just intimacy, but co-workers and friends and family members, acquaintances, and those complicated ones. We are digging into the area of relationships. So tag a friend, tag a family member, let them know that next week, beginning in November, we will be discussing relationships for the entire series. If you don't get God's design for relationships, I'm gonna tell you right now, life would be difficult for you to navigate through, because whether we admit it or not, believe it or not, all of us need somebody.
Right.
We need somebody. No one wants to be alone in life. No one wants to feel as if they have no one with them. Whether that be intimacy or whether that just be friendship. We all need somebody. And we have to learn how to navigate those relationships so that they can foster and they can be fruitful, not only to ourselves, but also to the other person. We want healthy. Somebody throw it in the chat. I want healthy relationships. I want healthy relationships.
Yes.
And throughout the month of November, we're going to discuss how we can have healthy relationships, because that is God's design. But we've been tackling the superficial voice since last week.
Right. And then superficial is appearing to be true or real only until examined more closely. So in other words, appearing to be real or important when this is not true or correct. So being superficial and being fake are
Same thing.
Are synonyms. They are synonymous of each other.
Correct.
And the most prideful people are the most superficial. So last week we also took a quiz, and we asked ourselves, how fake are you? So I thought that was pretty fun. And it probably revealed to some of us that we was a little shady in some areas of our lives.
All of us are a little shady. And let's just admit it. All of us have levels of shade. Some more than others.
Yes.
But all of us have levels of shade, right? But the purpose of PB, honestly, fam, is to become the person that God has called us to become.
Right.
This can never happen if we are not honest with ourselves, right? Honesty is crucial. Last week, we discussed the mask. Right, taking the mask off, which is anything that hides our true identity. And we went over the types of identities that we have. We have personal identity,
right,
and we have social identity.
Right.
Personal identity is how we perceive ourselves. Social identity is how others perceive us. And we ask from that question, who am I?
Who
am I? So if you didn't get a chance to listen to that, go back last week on all of our social media outlets and catch it. Hopefully it'll add value to your life.
Exactly. Catch it. It was great. So last week we ended our conversation on discussing like signs of a superficial person.
Yeah.
Can you move over just a little bit?
Why? Well, you don't have to hit my thigh.
I ain't hit your thigh. I just moved it aggressively. All right. We got all this space. Y'all pray for us, y'all. We on limited space here, and Jamel forgets that. And he thinks he's sitting here by himself. Y'all know how men sit. So we sitting like this, and y'all can imagine how men sit. But anyway,
I'm going to take a picture of where we're at, and then you let me know if she has enough space.
I'm here in the little corner. Anyway, we talked about signs of a superficial person. So the first thing and the only thing that we got through last week was we talked about the relationships are self-centered. And if y'all was on, and even if you wasn't, please go back and take a look at that conversation, because that took on a life of its own. Is the relationships that are self-centered. So again, go and watch it if you haven't. And if y'all remember, y'all know that just went left last week. But anyway, the primary purpose of these discussions that we're having on the Voice of Pride is we want to acknowledge that we all deal with some form of pride in our lives.
We do, yes.
Whether delayed in speech or in activity.
Correct, yeah.
And progressively becoming into the person God has undoubtedly involved attacking and exposing parts of us that may be undesirable.
And all of us have undesirable parts about us.
Right.
All of us.
Right.
And that is actively opposing, that is in opposition to the person that God has called us to be. That is opposing this progressive process in our lives, right? And the prayer is that during these conversations we can bring some awareness and some education to those oppositions so that we may conquer them and it does not conquer us. Right. So topics like pride and procrastination and emotional maturity are necessary if you want to become the persons that God wants you to become. Now, if you don't, and you're just here for the humor, we can take that also. But prayerfully, you'll change your mind with that. And it also exposes us to the truths about who we are as it relates to these voices.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So when we first started talking about the voices of pride, I don't know, maybe many of you, or even like us, I thought, hey, I'm not prideful. That's not me.
Yeah.
But once we got into the conversations and we went on to discuss the meanings and the signs of these voices to determine a prideful person, I don't know about you, but to realize that part of me, I do have some of those qualities. I have some of that arrogance.
Okay.
You know, I may have had some of that feelings of insecurity and neglect.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't know about you, but I had to take a little hard look, especially about that arrogance.
Yeah, that was a big one.
Yeah, that was a big one. Yeah. And I know that pricked a lot of y'all.
Yeah, there was a scripture in the Bible from the book of Lamentations that says, let us test and examine ourselves. And if we ever want to get to that place in our lives that we can test and examine our lives, we have got to address some of these undesirable behaviors that we all display. Keyword, we all display it. All right. So before we go into the next voice that we're going to conclude today, because today is the beginning, today's the ending, right? We briefly have to go back to discuss some additional signs of a superficial person, and perhaps because these conversations are about us,
right,
perhaps you can identify some of the voices that are in your own lives. For example, superficial people are judgmental by nature.
Whoa.
Yeah, they are judgmental by nature.
Right.
Being overcritical of others is a sign that the person you are speaking with, or perhaps the voice within yourself, is being rather superficial.
Right. So keep in mind, we're talking about ourselves. In these voices, we're not judging, but looking at ourselves.
We are judging ourselves.
Looking at ourselves.
We can judge us.
Looking at ourselves.
We can judge us. Most people don't. We judge others. We need to judge ourselves, right? Because while they project flaws on others, they may not be addressing the elephant in the room that is their own flaws. They are gleeful and cheerful about picking apart other people, but they do not stop to assess their own failures. This means that superficial people only care about knocking other people down rather than trying to understand those people, how they think, and perhaps how they operate, right? If you were to stop and think about things like this, perhaps you'll be less prone to jump on other people and judge what other people are doing, and think about yourselves that perhaps I have a minor flaw 2, 3, or 4, right? And I don't care what you say. I don't. Let's jump off the conversation with this.
Okay.
We don't care what you say or what you believe. All of us can be judgy.
That's right.
Let's just be real, right? And because our brains are wired to judge. Right? It is how we allow our minds to process automatically without having to spend energy and effort always analyzing. So in an attempt to cause the least amount of energy on our analytical cells and all of this effort, we are wired to automatically judge. How do we know this to be true? Because you don't have to think to judge.
It's true.
It happens.
It's true.
There's no thought to it.
It comes off. It's just automatic. It's automatic.
Whether you say it out of your mouth or you think it in your head, you instantly judge something that you see.
Yes, absolutely. Oh, where's she going with that outfit on? Oh,
yes.
Her hair look toe down. Girl, do something about that wig. Oh, that's the wrong lipstick for her skin tone. Yeah, it's automatic.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like it's no thought to it.
And Sharon, yes, I do believe that we judge others because of our own insecurities. It's something about us. It's something within us that that judges someone else. Now, again, I'm not saying that we can't be observant. There's nothing wrong with being observant. I'm talking about judging people when you belittle that individual, when you belittle a person, because you believe that you are superior. There's nothing wrong with making observations. If your hair is out of place, baby, it's just out of place. It's no judgment. It's a reality.
Don't want to have
your hair is out of place, right? Yeah. You know, you don't look put together. It's not a judgment. It's the reality, right? The issue is that when we judge someone to belittle another person, and we don't take time to think and try to understand how that person is feeling, what that person may be thinking. And I think it has a lot to do with something about ourselves that may be insecure. A lot of times we judge people as a cover up for our own shame and perhaps guilt that we have about ourselves. And sometimes judging others make you feel better about yourself. Because in your mind, you're saying, okay, I'm not that bad. He or she is a little worse than me. Right. And then in this weird terms, it inflates your already deteriorated ego. Because now you see that this person isn't perhaps as put together as you are when you ain't got it all together yourself. You know, it's funny how sometimes another person's demise.
Call a spade, right?
Yeah, sure. Another person's demise and shortcomings and failures somehow makes us feel like we've arrived when it hasn't.
Right, that's true. Do you think you can learn that as a behavior of being judgmental? Meaning like children, like they don't know like what it is to like talk about somebody or you know, put somebody down. Is it that they hear people talk about others, or they hear their parents, you know, being critical and judgy, and does that in turn come on you and make you think that that's the way that it is, or that's the way life is?
Yeah, I think so, because for me, I believe that judgment is a learned it is a learned behavior. And again, because we automatically do it with our minds, I do believe that if we are in an environment where that is so dominant, then we ourselves will become more prone to do it more frequently. And here's the reality: is while judgment is a automatic process in our minds, I think it becomes a problem when we seek to judge others. Like we are going out of our way to cast a judgment. I agree with you, Christina. You cannot judge a book by its cover, right? When we go out of our way to make someone else feel bad. And again, Sherman, all at the goal and the intended response of making us feel better about ourselves. Again, pride is a cover up.
Right.
It's a cover up. Your ego covers up something about yourself, a defect or a deficit in your life. Superficial people are judgmental by nature.
Judgy.
Yeah.
Ask yourself, are you judgy? And again, I mean, like, I think we all have that where we are judgmental to a certain degree. Some may be worse than others. But like we always say, oh, I'm not judging anybody. That ain't for me to judge. You know, that's God's job to judge them. But at the same time, while you saying that in your mind, you done judged them. You done thought of what you wanted to, that you would have said. So it's like we say it, but at the same time, we still a little judgy.
Yeah.
We still a little judgy.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna judge what they doing. But at the same time, it's like, yeah, you know that ain't right. You ain't gonna be doing that. Where you going with like that? So it's like we say it, but a part of us is still acting in that way of being judgy.
Absolutely.
So we have to all check that. We all have to check that, because it's easy. Yeah. It's easy. It's like you said, it takes no thought behind that. It's true. Okay. Another highlight of a superficial person is they demand the spotlight. Yeah. I just gotta give a shout out to Noah. I've been told he's kissing the screen again today. We love you, baby. Yeah. All right, so they demand the spotlight. Noah.
Human beings crave attention. It is. Human beings want the attention to be focused on themselves, and at certain points, at times, no matter what. Right. But it's worrying when you notice that someone you care about demands that they always be in the center of attention at all times. And I am certain that when we said that comment, many of you thought of someone. But tonight, it's about us.
It's about us.
Do we crave to be in the spotlight? Do we crave to be the center of attention? Why is it that we can get away with turning spotlight on themselves all the time? Why must they always be the center of attention? It is likely because they are superficial. The fact that they insist that people are always talking about them and thinking about them is something that should be a warning sign to everyone else that are dealing with someone who is very superficial. And it goes back to what we discussed last week. People are not always talking about you.
So I guess at some point I was superficial. Because remember in our conversation, if you don't, a few weeks ago I mentioned how, you know, I just thought people was like not liking me, or they didn't want to hang with me, or they didn't think I was friendly. And Sister Nancy, I'm still waiting for you to call me. I ain't get a call yet. But maybe they ain't feeling that way about me, and everybody ain't thinking about me and talking about me. So it's like maybe I had some superficial tendencies back then.
I agree. No, I agree. Sharon, you said, is there a difference between a superficial person and a narcissist? I believe they share they share both of the same qualities. They want someone to admire them. The thing about a superficial person is that they admire themselves. Right? Whereas a narcissist always seeks the admiration and the applause from others, perhaps. Where as a superficial person, they admire themselves. They have this inordinate high opinion of themselves, when upon closely examination they realize that perhaps they aren't what they think they are, right? But yeah, another voice of the superficial is they talk over you.
Yeah, that's big.
Yeah, that's
yeah, I think, and that's
that's big.
Whatever. I think that's big for us all, because I think it's just sometimes you don't think that you're doing.
But it is annoying, and it is a sign of immaturity.
Well then, so you can't call me immature because you was just pointing at me.
No, I'm just saying when you talk over someone, when the superficial person talks over you, it is a sign of immaturity. If someone feels that what they have to say is so important that they don't mind talking over you to get their point across to others, then what they are saying about you are things that perhaps they just don't care what you're saying. They clearly feel that their words are more important than yours, and that is very hurtful. It is. And at a certain point, it is easy to lose compassion for someone who continues to behave so rudely.
Oh, wow.
This goes back similarly to when we talked about arrogance. And we spoke about this a couple of weeks ago. This is so true in relationships, especially intimate relationships, right? When we seek to talk over the other person, the other partner, right? Because we believe that what we're saying is more important than what they are trying to say. Superficial voice and the superficial voice and a voice of pride. The question is, can we identify that in our relationships?
When you talk over someone, is it the same when you say, "Oh, I'm talking," and then you come and say, "Excuse me to cut you off. I'm sorry to cut you off," and then you keep talking?
I think that's just rude.
Okay, so you can't. You know what? Don't be pointing fingers over here, bro, because you'll do that. Mm-hmm. I'm saying something, and then you'll just say, "Oh, I'm sorry to cut you off," and then you keep talking.
Yeah, I mean, but sometimes I have a tendency to forget my train of thought.
And so do I. So. Like, I like to, if I think of something, I like to say it, because
got it.
If you continue to talk, I'm more than likely I'm going to forget.
But we're not doing it because we don't care about what the other person is saying.
Right.
Nor are we doing it because we believe that what we're saying is more important than what the other person is saying.
Absolutely.
Got it.
So let's clear that up.
Let's clear it.
Because you got the people thinking I'm rude, immature, and I cut you off on it.
Yeah, I understand that.
All right. See, and these are the things that you have to do. You have to make the other person aware of their flaws in things, and then they can see a little bit more clearly that it's not as cut and dry as what they originally thought.
Because most superficial persons are not aware. And we talk about this word a lot, like being aware of yourself, right? Your emotions, your heart. Superficial persons focus on external behaviors, and they do not care about looking inwardly, whether it is their thoughts, their feelings, or even their behaviors, right? There's a scripture in the Bible that in Jeremiah 6:14, it says, "They only offer superficial help for the harm my people have suffered. They say everything will be okay, but everything is not okay." They are not aware. They are not aware of the harm that they are causing. And they believe that everything is okay, but it is not okay. They are just unaware of their thoughts, their feelings, and their behaviors and their actions that they are forcing against someone else. Superficial persons are just not aware that they may be causing harm to you, right? But for tonight's conversation, you want to say anything about that?
No.
Okay. For tonight's conversation, I want us to dig deeper. I want us to discuss the voice of dignity. Yeah.
Yes. So, in a nutshell, dignity is the healthy form of pride.
In avarice, I completely agree with you on that one. Absolutely. Completely agree.
And dignity is the state of quality of being worthy of honor or respect, a sense of pride in oneself and self-respect. So again, dignity is the healthy form of pride. I'm so hot.
Healthy.
Yes.
Healthy
Form of pride. And true dignity is the evidence of a generosity towards others.
Absolutely.
Pride is a commodity that we hoard for ourselves. Dignity contains a humility and gratitude that invites people towards us. Pride often exudes an arrogance and egotism that repels people.
Yeah.
So keep that in mind. Dignity is showing generosity towards others. Pride is a commodity that we hoard ourselves.
Correct.
And all of us desires to feel good about ourselves. So if you're honest, you all want to feel good about yourself.
Absolutely.
I know I do.
Absolutely.
And that should be a goal, that every day we feel good about ourselves, regardless if we receive affirmation or not.
Absolutely.
We should look at ourselves
Absolutely.
and feel good.
Absolutely. If no one tells us that we're doing good, all of us desire to look at ourselves in the mirror and feel good about ourselves. Right? Pride is when your desire to feel good about yourself is at the expense of others. And it is not factual, and it is highly inordinate. It's not healthy. Whereas dignity is synonymous with healthy self-worth. Could you throw that in the chat? Healthy self-worth. And there's a difference between pride and dignity. And we're going to go over that, and perhaps you can see where you fit. Here it is. Pride feeds our self-image. Dignity nourishes us. Right? Pride feeds our self-image. Dignity nourishes us. And a common connotation of pride is that we cling to a haughty, boastful self-view. We may take pride in how much money we make. We may take pride in how orderly our homes are. We take pride in how fit we are, right? And such pride can correlate to an inflated self-image.
Right.
Our sense of identity becomes narrowly defined by what we do rather than who we are.
Yeah, that's good.
Right? Our perceived accomplishments and status, it feeds a prideful self-image, but they do not nourish us. Whereas dignity is an expression of who we are. It is not about social status. It's not about money. It is not about achievements. We affirm ourselves and maintain self-compassion. Whether we experience success or we experience failures in this world, our dignity derives simply from doing our best to live an ethical and moral life.
Right.
It may be based on our capacity to be honest and authentic and kind, but dignity is when we have a nourishing sense of gentleness as we become true to ourselves and honor ourselves as well. Throw that in the chat. I have to honor myself.
Absolutely.
I honor myself.
And you gotta honor yourself as
Yes.
you are.
Yes.
As you are.
Yeah, as you are.
Yes.
And we often talk about honoring others, right? Honor yourself.
It's okay to do that.
Have a healthy sense. Have a healthy sense of pride, dignity, right? And when I engage in that, when I am having a healthy sense, it nourishes us. It doesn't take away from us. It nourishes us. Because I've learned that no matter what state I'm in, I've learned to be content.
Yes, absolutely.
in, out, good, bad, up, down, hungry,
Absolutely.
fed, you know, have it, don't have it. I've learned to be content. Contentment, not the absence of desiring better,
Right.
but the presence of knowing where I am now. I've learned to be content, and I know that there are better days that are
coming.
ahead of me.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You've been around me too long.
Honor yourself. That's it. That's
Yeah.
it. That's it.
That's
it,
great.
Sister
Like,
Bullock. Honor yourself.
Absolutely.
Honor
You
yourself.
have to.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I mean, because you have to. Because not everyone's gonna honor you.
Yeah.
So
Correct.
it's like you gotta honor yourself and wherever you are. And you know, on this platform, I will just say, you know, and God, He will meet you wherever you at.
That's so true.
He
so
will.
True. Yeah.
And better days are ahead. Better is coming.
Yes.
And you just gotta believe that.
Absolutely.
But definitely honor yourself.
Absolutely.
Pride pumps up our superiority. Dignity contains humility and gratitude. Pride is often colored by a self-view of being better than others. Remember, we talked about that. We think that we're better than.
Yeah.
And all of us have. Yeah, we all have. We may judge people who are low income, maybe or unemployed, and we judge them as being unambitious or they're lazy. They ain't got no get up about them. They ain't got no get up and go, you know, about them. And if we enter somebody's home that's disorderly, we might deem it as they're messy or they nasty or they don't keep a clean house.
Absolutely.
But you know, sometimes you're in a space where you may not have enough room for your stuff, and you don't have places to put things. And it's not that I'm nasty or I'm messy. It's just where I'm at can accommodate the things that I have.
Oh, I just had a bad week. Oh, I've just been so busy. I wasn't able to, you know, clean up, you know, or I wasn't able to, you know, tidy things up. You can't judge. You cannot make a judgment.
Right.
Based on what you see and operate in pride because you just think you're better than. Yeah.
Exactly. And if we pride ourselves on being fit, then we might judge people that are out of shape.
Yeah.
So these judgmental perceptions might gratify us with an air of superiority. Pumped up with pride, we don't allow others their dignity. So we hold people to rigid standards if we are to respect
Can you say that again?
them. We hold people to rigid standards if we are to respect them.
That's a powerful statement. We hold people to rigid standards if we are to respect them. That's a prideful comment all by itself. If I am to respect you, that I'm gonna hold you to a certain standard. Who do you think you are?
Well,
if I am to respect you, then you have to come up to my standard.
Where they do that at?
Where do we get this thinking from? It is the voice of pride.
Yes. The voice of pride.
Yeah. In order for me to respect you, you got to come up to my standards.
That's good right there. Dignity doesn't require you comparing yourself to others.
That's good. Yes.
And we all have done that.
We have. Yeah.
If we have a good job, we should feel grateful, not superior.
If we have a good job, we should feel grateful and not superior.
It's true. If even those that keep yourself fit, like you should appreciate that you're committed to your health, and you know the good feeling that it gives you. But you don't want to feel like you're better than those that can't find the time or don't have the money and the resources or even the motivation to work out.
That's so true.
Pride.
Right, here it is. Pride. Here's the difference between pride and dignity, right? Pride depends on what happens outside of ourselves, whereas dignity is internal. I'm gonna say it again, and we gotta go.
That's it. Me, grateful,
Pride,
not superior.
yeah, pride depends on what happens outside of ourselves. Dignity is internal. Pride is precarious and easily punctured. Someone insults us, if someone leaves us, if someone injures us, if someone makes us feel devastated, we want to retaliate. Right? We have this, we develop this mob figure, thought that we're gonna put a hit out on somebody that doesn't respect them. If you do this to me, I'm gonna blast you on Facebook. If you disrespect me, I'm gonna disrespect you just as well. And we all can read between the lines. Right? So your comments is clearly a hit against somebody else.
Right.
So we all can read between the lines.
Yes.
Right? And this disrespect is too much to bear when our self-worth is so fragile that we demand that everyone else admire us. We have little control over whether others respect us. We have a great deal of control over whether we respect ourselves. You cannot control someone's actions towards you, but you are responsible for controlling your response and your actions and your activity towards somebody else.
And that may be hard. Trust me. Speaking from experience, that is hard because by nature, if somebody coming at me or disrespecting me, it's like I'm ready to bring it back. You gonna give me flack, I'm about to bring it back to you. But thank God I have someone that reminds me that
Jesus.
You can't, you can't always do how people do you and how they treat you. And, and I've learned that over the years. I have. And it's not easy because the adrenaline comes up, your emotion, you get into your feelings, and you want to just go at them the way they're coming at you. And, may take the social media or may give them the business in person. But we can't do that. We just can't do that. And it's not, like I said, it's not easy.
It's not
by any stretch of the imagination. But thanks be to God that He has control over that situation.
We have to control what we can control.
Yes.
Right. So again,
that's right, ladies. Don't top it off for sure. Pop off.
And this entire series, I think it's been the last 4 weeks, I think.
No, probably about 5
or
6.
Yeah, now. 5 or 6 weeks. We have been discussing the voices of pride, and prayerfully, you have gathered something from it. It's not about nobody else.
Right.
It's about us.
us.
It's about us looking at ourselves in the mirror and asking ourselves the hard questions. And hopefully, prayerfully, we can become better people.
Sister Tammy, that is great what you said. It's true. We are essentially giving them control and giving them power.
Yeah.
And I think I had to think about it like that too. Okay. Like, I'm not giving you that much power over me. Even though I'm upset, I'm angry, I want to get at you, but I got to take that back. You're not going to have that much control over my emotion and my feelings.
That goes back to what we discussed with emotional maturity.
Yeah.
Right. We take control of our emotions. Mm-hmm. We do.
Right.
We don't put that on anybody else.
Right.
We take control of our emotions. If we feel a certain way, I take control of it.
Right.
Even if you did something to make me feel that way, I take control of it. Because I cannot allow you to be responsible for that emotion. Because if so, I'll be waiting on a lifetime for you to heal that emotion, for you to heal what you did to me. Right. I take control of it.
That's good.
You know,
that's good.
So yeah, she's saying me, that's it. Take control. Yeah. And in your life, just take control. You know, be mindful of what you say, how you act, how you respond to others. Don't allow pride to steep in. The roots of pride is deep, and you will not be able to notice it quickly.
Right.
And before you realize that you'll be operating in pride, everyone else sees except you.
Right.
So prayerfully, something was said during these last 5 weeks. I know I've been totally convicted. Gosh, I was convicted. That arrogance, took something out of me.
Yes.
Like,
You didn't realize that you were.
I didn't realize that I was operating in arrogance.
Yeah. I think that conversation probably gave us all a wake up.
Yeah.
A wake up call.
All of us in some areas of our lives believe that we're better than. Oh gosh, Lord, take it out of me. If it's not, just take it out of me. Right. So, family, again, thank you so much for joining this conversation. Again, Thursday morning, 6 a.m. morning devotions. We are praying for you and with you. Put those names, send us those names. Go to our website, www.progressivelybecoming.com. There's a place where you can send your prayer requests. We want to pray with you and we want to pray for you. Yes. Thursday morning, 6 a.m. Friday, 15 at 6. All of our podcast outlets. And next Tuesday, we will be beginning Relationship Month in November. Yes. What is God's design for relationships? And throughout the month of November, we'll have some friends with us. Kind of, y'all probably tired of seeing us. I know you are. Y'all don't have to say it. I know. Y'all probably tired of seeing us. Yeah.
And we love you guys.
Yeah, but yeah, check us out next Tuesday, Relationship Month. If all hearts and minds are clear.
Benediction.
Have a great evening, guys.
Have a great evening. Take care, y'all. We love y'all.